graphic back, graphic logo, clickable, banner button, awesome, clickable button, restart, clickable button, and mainland.
Amazon, cancel my 8 p.m. alarm? Yes. I rule technology. This is Awesome Sauce Radio. Hope you're having a beautiful, amazing, blessed Thursday night. It's you're in the northern New Jersey, New York City area. Be careful with the snow on the roads. And of course, we're going to, before we have our special guest, we're going to thank the official pizzeria of Awesome Sauce Radio, DeMarco's Pizza. DeMarco's Pizza is located in Hewitt, New Jersey, 1926 Union Deli Road, Hewitt, New Jersey, 07421. Their phone number is 973-728-1344. And they got amazing food. If you want a free order of garlic knots, just mention Awesome Sauce Radio. Their garlic knots or orgy flavor of butter and garlic. They're just amazing. You gotta try them. And their pizza's awesome. And Lou's an amazing dude. DeMarco's Pizza is just the greatest pizzeria in all of northern New Jersey. Test it there. 1926 Union Deli Road, New Jersey, 07421 973-728-1334. And I also want to give a quick shout out to my homie, one of my best friends on planet Earth, even though I think he's from another planet. That would be Alien Rob. I want to thank Alien Rob and Abduction Wine, Tornado the Movie, Sugar Wavers, Paranormal Mail, Paranormal Ale, Liftoff Sanitizer, Milky Marbles, Slot Coin, but basically just Sugar Wafers and Tornado the Movie. They're coming soon. And Alien Rob's awesome. Check out Abduction Wine and his 500 personalities he has floating around the internets. Now that we thank everyone, you just want to remember, you don't need sight to have a vision. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And with that, we're going to bring in a good friend of the show. He is a wrestler, he's a podcaster, a comedian, a civil rights activist and advocate. The one, the only, Vinny the Guido.
Thank you, Blind Adam. Thank you very much for having me on your show again. This is part 2, everybody. Part 2. That's right. Blind Adam's my boy. Oh, and by the way, it's the only issue I have with that pizzeria is that they won't deliver to Long Island, New York. Can you believe that? They will not deliver to Long Island, New York.
I think if you did some type of catering thing, they might. I don't know what their cutoff is. But that's ran by an amazing family. It's one of the last couple remaining businesses that I've known that have been in town my entire lifetime at this point.
It sounds good to me, man. It made me hungry.
Like I said, I just jokingly said I was in there. I was in there one day, and he goes, "You sound familiar," and I was like, I shared the Howard Stern story, and he said, I remember that episode. And I was like, "Oh fuck, I can." And I was like, all right. And I was like, "Oh fuck," for like 2 seconds. And I was like, "All right, just be that dying heavyweight champion who still gets a little bit of glory from the good old days." And we started talking, and I jokingly said, "Hey, man, you get the podcast?" And he goes, "Yeah, every now and then."
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, "Hey, would you be interested in sponsoring this?" Like, "Well, I've never done this before." And then in the beginning of the year, we worked out a deal. So, they've been nothing but really good to me. And whenever I go there, it's one of the few places that brings me back to high school when things were innocent.
Well, you make sure you tell them when I'm in the area, I'm going to stop down. So.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely. So, how have things been since the last time you've been on?
I mean, tell them, let them know whenever I'm in the area, I will stop down and show love.
Beautiful, thank you, Benny. So, how have you been since the last time you've been on the show?
Oh, just just peachy, just still going through the appeal process, which when dealing with the government, when they know they're having a losing battle, they're just going to drag their feet. But
Oh, why we still have
they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn.
Yeah. So I know you said on the phone you have a wrestling event coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday, One Division Pro, we have a pro wrestling event going on. It's invite only. They're not selling tickets to it. It's going to be an in-studio TV taping kind of thing. But once it's done being filmed, it's going to be released, and then people are going to be able to see it. And if you follow my social media pages, I'll post it so everybody can check it out. Right now you can find One Division Pro on all social media platforms. It's called One Division Pro, and they have a YouTube page also. So
I will check it out. Who's the champion of One Division Pro? For people who give someone like a draw that would make them want to go check it out.
It's very different from all the other independent pro wrestling companies out there. We do things a little more differently. It's kind of like the style of what WWE is in a sense, but for the independents. It's a lot of script, script writing. And we don't call them pro wrestlers at all. We call them sports artists. Kind of like how WWE calls them WWE superstars. They don't necessarily call them pro wrestlers. They call them WWE superstars. In our company, we call them sports artists. So, it's very different from what everybody else is used to, and it's a very, 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 very good product. If you like being entertained, there's a lot of entertainment with it. It's kind of like watching a movie, but in a pro wrestling ring, So it's pretty cool.
Beautiful, because like I say, I don't know if you agree with me. I say 60% of pro wrestling is the persona behind the person who's doing all the moves. If you can't connect with the character, then
exactly. Of course, everybody likes to boo and hate on me because I'm always the heel. So my character is always up to no good. Allegedly. Allegedly. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: let's just say you decide you're going to be a pro wrestler. You go for all the training. You get signed. Let's say you decide you want to be a heel, because it's always more fun to be the villain than it is the hero in any story. A villain can go balls to the walls. What are the top 3 things you would say to be a good working heel in today's culture?
Know your audience, man. Just know your audience. Know the audience. Know the area you're in. Find out their dislikes and their likes, and then just use that in promos. I mean, there's a few times where I remember many years ago, back, I think it was in 2009. Whenever I'm trying to think when the Yankees beat the Phillies in the World Series, that was 2009, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so. You were 2009 or 10. They may have been 10.
No, I think it was 2009. I remember I did a show in North Philadelphia, and it was literally like days shy of the World Series parade. Like the wound was still fresh in North Philadelphia. So, and everybody who knows Philly knows they take sports very seriously in Philadelphia.
They take sports more seriously than religion out there, man.
I'll tell you. So me being the heel that I am, we were in one of those Catholic high school gymnasiums. It was like one of those, it was kind of like a charity event at one of the Catholic high schools or whatever. And I remember the promotion. I believe it was DWF and Loco Wrestling at the time, was in North Philadelphia. And I remember I grabbed the microphone. I was like, hey, this is my first time in Philly. I'm so excited to be here. I was told that when I got here, there was going to be lots of traffic everywhere. There was going to be people everywhere. I said, but when I got here, I couldn't help but notice that your streets are dead. I said, where did everybody go? And I was like, wait a minute. I said, weren't you guys supposed to have some kind of parade or something? I was like, oh, that's right. They had the World Series parade in New York City this year. Our New York Yankees beat your Philadelphia Phillies. And they went batshit crazy. They were pissed. Pissed. They were throwing full bottles at my head. They weren't even empty bottles. They were throwing full bottles at my head. They were throwing like pretzels at me and shit. There was more garbage in the ring than there was in a trash can. And as soon as I did that, you could see the priest in the corner doing like 1,000 Hail Marys that I make it out of there alive and shit, you know? And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a second. I said, I apologize. I forgot where I was for a second. Please forgive me. I was way out of pocket. My bad. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I said, but you know what? I said, you Philadelphians should be used to this by now. Us New Yorkers, we smoke Phillies all the time. And some fat guy got so pissed and hopped over the guardrail to come after me. Security had to tackle him and shit. Oh, they were mad when I said that shit. I was getting death threats and everything. It was crazy. But to make a long story short, by the end of the night, everybody, all the good guys took turns beating the crap out of me and shit. And the crowd went. At least you would have thought the crowd went home happy after that. So
did they remember the Star Trek? Didn't after the show they still wanted your blood to the point where security had to sneak you out?
Yeah, I remember telling you that at the show. You remember that? Yeah, you remember that conversation? I told you that at the convention. Yeah. It was crazy. Like even after the show was over, it was like 2.5 hours past the show was over, and I figured it was safe. The ring was already packed up, ready to. It was already pretty much gone. I go to grab my bags to leave, and security goes, "Oh, where you going?" I go, "I'm going out to the car." They're like, "Oh, no, don't go out there. You're going to die." I was like, "What?" They're like, "Do you know what you said on the microphone?" I was like, "Yeah, I was doing my job." They're like, "Yeah, they were serious when they were giving you death threats. They're waiting outside for you to leave the building." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" They said, "Well, the police are on their way." I said, "Come on, man. We don't need the police." They go, "Look, man, if you go out there, you're going to die." So the cops get there, and the cops go up to the security guards. What the hell's going on outside? What the heck's going on? They're like, "Well, that guy said, we had a wrestling show here tonight. The guy said something on a microphone, got them all riled up and everything." And they're still mad about it. And so the cops come over. They're like, "Well, what did you say on the microphone?" I said, "Look, man, I really don't want to talk about it. I just want to get in my car and go home. I got a long drive. I live in Long Island. It's about a 2.5-hour drive." I was like, I really don't want to get into it right now. I just want to get into my car and go home. They're like, "There's people outside that are really angry right now." They're like, you have to let us know what you said." I said, "Look, man, I don't want to talk about it." I said, "I just want to go." I said, "Listen, is there a back door or something?" I was like, he's like, "They're waiting for you to leave the building." Like they're very angry. I was
surrounded Indians versus Cowboys style and shit.
Yeah, so finally I tell the cops, I said, "Look, man," I said, "if I tell you what I said, you have to promise me you're not going to beat my ass, because you know how to do that without leaving marks and shit." I said, I was like, "You have to promise me you're not going to get mad," because I was just doing my job, man. I was the bad guy. I'm the heel. I said, I said things that I knew was going to catch heat. I just didn't think it was going to be that bad. I said my judgment was off on that, and they're very angry. And he says, "Well, what did you say?" And then I told him. And then one of the cops says, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And I asked his partner, I said, what happened? Where's he going? He goes, "I don't know." So then he comes back with a bulletproof vest and he goes, "Here, wear this." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Look, man, we can't stop bullets." He says, "What you just said is going to get us all killed." So I needed the police escort and the security to walk me to the car, so I got home. And damn that they weren't outside throwing shit at the cops trying to get to me. It was crazy. I thought I was going to die that night. It was nuts.
That's insane. That's just totally insane.
That being said, though, I gotta say, what the Philadelphia fans didn't know is that Philadelphia is kind of like a second home for me. I mean, I love Philly. They always show me nothing but brotherly love when I come out there, usually, when I'm not saying crazy shit like that. But I mean, my boy Sam over at Pat's King of Steaks in Philly always hooks me up when I come down there. I'm family to him. And his family's family to me. Like, you know, so whenever you're in Philly, make sure you get your Philly cheesesteaks at Pat's King of Steaks. You know, Pat's King of Steaks, believe it or not, they actually created the cheesesteak. The Philly cheese. They created the Philly's cheesesteak, believe it or not. They've been around for years. But yeah, man, I mean, every time I go to Philly, I mean, always get shown love when I come out to Philly usually. So gotta say what's up to my Philly people out there.
That's awesome. All right, so outside of the pro Division I wrestling, what else you got going on?
Right now it's mostly acting gigs and fighting my civil rights case that I'm dealing with in court right now. As you know, in the last conversation we had, you know, I was wrongfully imprisoned, wrongfully incarcerated, and dealing with a lot of corruption in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. So, you know, I was.
You're Long Island.
Yep.
Long Island, the asshole of New York. Yeah, I said it. Send me the hate mail, not Vinny.
Yep.
You guys
that's true.
Fisher, and you sent all your trash up to the Jersey Shore and created that phenomenon like we fucking needed it.
Yep.
Whatever sin. Long Island has lots of sins, man.
I'll tell you, Atlantic City's like a second home for me too. Atlantic City.
I haven't been to Atlantic City since 2000. I guess it maybe 10 or 9, maybe.
Wow, really? Wow.
And I just the last time I went there, I just did not have a good experience.
Don't you live in Jersey?
I have 1 foot in Jersey, 1 foot in New York.
Oh wow, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, so right now lately it's been like 99.9% of my time in Jersey, just because you know.
So how are you in Jersey and not go to Atlantic City since 2010, man? What kind of a New Jerseyan are you?
Someone who just I don't gamble all that much. The strip clubs in that area suck. You know, trying to find a streetwalker was a pain in the ass.
I know some. Hey, listen, man. I know some good. I know some good underground stuff over in Jersey, man. I'll tell you. I know about. Trust me. I know people that. Trust me. I know people that do like the underground stuff over there. So, you get the. One of my people. They tell me all the time that they go to this one spot that he knows of that does they do like massages and stuff, if you know what I mean. So
happy ending for you.
Yeah, exactly. But hey man, I mean, I'll tell you though.
And like I said, I was dating someone down there at the time for a bit. And that didn't quite work out, and then my grandmother got sick, and before I knew it, I fell in love with another place that's across the country that watches just better in all those departments. I call it Sin City. Like Las Vegas.
Yep.
Las Vegas is my second home.
I love Vegas. I haven't been there in a while, man. I remember many years ago I used to go at least twice a year, but now I hardly go there at all. It's been a while since I've been to Vegas. I love Vegas too. But
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, for the AVN convention, right?
I was out there for AVNs. I was also visiting friends, and just was having a good time.
It sucks that the only thing I don't like about AVN is that they're at the Virgin Hotels spot. I don't like that spot at all.
I like it a lot better than I liked it at it used to be called the Sands Expo Center. It's now the Las Vegas Convention Center now.
Yeah, I mean that would have made more sense, but man, I don't know why they were at Virgin Hotels this year, man. I mean, I was like, damn.
That's where they had the contract at from 2000. They were there from 2016 to 2020, and then that's when they were the Hard Rock. And then
Yeah,
the bought the Hard Rock at that point, and they redid
that casino's not that big either, man. Like that casino, I remember it was. Wait, I think Mohegan. Wait, does Mohegan Sun run the casino there, or did their contract run out with them?
I think the contract is with Mohegan Sun, or they own it. I'm not exactly sure how that works.
I liked it better when Hard Rock ran it.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I go there, I do the event, I buy it. Tip to anyone who goes to Vegas for the first time: don't buy anything in the casino if you can. Like if you want to try to smuggle in a bottle of water or something, because once you're in the casino, you're paying over a whole price for bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's such a cash grab too, man. It's Las Vegas. They're know nothing but cash grabs, bro. Those resort fees keep getting higher and higher every time.
Don't get me started on those. I spent the week at a hostel because my two friends out there, one of them has a sick kid with special needs and just did not feel comfortable hosting me. The other one was out of town. So I was at this hostel. The hostel for the week in a 12. The hostel was like one of those college dorm rooms where you share. It's really, really affordable.
Yeah.
The stay without taxes and resort fees was like $75 for the week.
Damn.
The taxes and the resort fees.
And that's just the resort fee. That's not including the price of the room.
Yeah, like I said, the resort fees and the taxes were more expensive than the room itself.
That's got to be damn near criminal, man. I don't know how they get away with that shit. It's insane. And now they're charging for parking. I remember back in the day, it was always free to park everywhere. Now they charge parking everywhere.
Well, if you're like a diamond member with the casino, it's a certain price. But if you're not, I think it's like $15 for the day on top of everything else.
I mean, even Atlantic City's not that high a price for parking. It's insane what they're charging for parking over there.
No, I actually take that back. I haven't been. Now that I think about it, I have not been into Atlantic City since 2016 when I was there for the Atlantic City Comic Con.
Oh wow! I remember when Exotica first started.
When they had that little failed experiment when
they tried it in Atlantic City for a couple. Yeah, they were in Atlantic City for a couple of years actually, and then they got too big for that, and they ended up moving to Edison because they got way too big for Atlantic City.
No, actually, at that point they were doing 2 shows in Jersey a year. They were doing one at one point in the year in Atlantic City, which was like around March, April, and then they did their normal show because New Jersey's their flagship. Because the parent company is located in Philadelphia somewhere. And Edison has always been their flagship, so that's always end of October, beginning of November. They started out in Sea Caucus, but Sea Caucus kicked them out. They tried doing a show in Dallas in 2018, maybe. I
call it suck caucus. Secaucus, New Jersey.
Nice.
Secaucus, New Jersey. Oh man. Yeah. Every time I hear that town name, I always crack that joke. People in Jersey are like, that's fucked up, man. I was like,
It does it, man.
oh man. Listen, I mean, it's gonna suck because this year is my final year wearing the Magnum condom costume at Exotica. I'm retiring the costume on the stage. So for those who are dying to see the Magnum Man costume and haven't been getting around to going to Exotica, I suggest you do it this year because it's going to be my final wearing that costume. So if you want to get your pictures with me and everything, you want to, be part of my entourage, I suggest you do it this year because it's going to be my last year wearing that costume. I am going to be retiring that costume on the stage this year.
Nice. And October, yep. I believe Exotica, New Jersey is October 25th to the 27th this year.
Yes.
Like 26th to the 28th, something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like a day or two off from what it was last year.
Yeah, it's the last week. It's always going to be the last weekend of October or the first weekend in November every year.
Yeah, because I just was looking at all the dates for a pre-recorded episode I did this afternoon, and I know that the Chicago's April 11th through the 13th. I'm actually thinking of flying out for that.
That's the second best one. The best one, obviously, is the one in Jersey, followed by Chi-Town in Chicago. Chi-Town. I call it Chi-Town. Yep. And those are the two best ones. The one in Miami, I don't know. I heard the one in Miami not really, and I heard the one in DC isn't really that great either. But
I heard mixed reviews about Miami, depending on whom I talk to.
Well, dude, you have to understand, geographically, it's in Miami. I mean, it's at the very end of Florida. And you have to understand, Florida is surrounded by water. There's no way to get there except to fly there, take the train there, or drive there. There's no way to, and even to drive there, like just to get there is a pain in the ass. Like Miami's a great place to go on vacation, but to do a convention sucks in Miami. It just sucks because you have to understand, Chicago and Edison, New Jersey, surrounded by all these different states where people from all different states can easily just drive there like an hour away and they're there.
And technically, the Chicago show is not even in the city of Chicago. It's like technically it's the suburbs.
But with Miami, being that it's all the way at the very end of Florida, if you live in surrounding states like Georgia or New Orleans or anything like that, you have to drive for hours just to get there. Like there's no driving there within an hour if you live in any other state other than Florida. It's just impossible. And I think that's what hinders their attendance there. It's because it's Florida. It's at the very end of Florida. It is impossible to get there.
Miami's also in the Rob and I talk about this every year. We will. Like I said, hey, I was thinking I'm not going to Florida in the middle to the end of June when it's 90 degrees with 99.999% humidity, where you're just going to
dry heat. It's not even wet. It's dry heat in Florida. It's not like the heat in New York. The heat there is dry heat, which is worse.
It depends on your definition of dry heat, I guess, because I'm more used to a West Coast dry heat.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Vegas dry heat. Yeah, that is pretty bad. But
Vegas, Arizona, California type heat.
Yeah, that's true.
The last convention I did in Florida in Orlando, which was MegaCon for a Fan Expo, and it was in the beginning of May, end of May, beginning of June. I just remember sweating balls and like being very.
Well, the best time to go to Vegas is Halloween. It's not too hot and it's not too cold, and you could still go swimming and shit. So it's perfect weather around Halloween time in Vegas.
Yep. Like between Halloween and Thanksgiving, that's the perfect time there.
Bro, I went to the Halloween parties in Vegas, and that was sick. But now it sucks because you got the F1 starting to set up for their F1 races now. So driving around Vegas sucks during that time.
Yeah, it's that. And all my friends were telling me that Formula One was nothing but a big clusterfuck.
Yep. That's why Halloween sucks in Vegas now, probably. But I mean, back when I went, there was no F1 race. So when I went during Halloween time, it was the best time in Vegas. Was how the Halloween parties were sick. I love the Halloween parties in Vegas. But getting around Vegas now while they're setting up for F1 is going to be really hard.
It's a pain in the ass. It's becoming like one of the most desired places in America right now. It's growing and growing and growing. You know, but I have a question, since you know all the penal codes and how to get away with things, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. I don't break the law. I just happen to know the law where I know what I can do and what I can't do. So I do push the envelope and I push the line. You know, I get as close to the line as possible without going over the line. And one thing I will never tolerate is somebody putting their hands on me and assaulting me without me defending myself. You have the right to defend yourself when you're being physically attacked. It's that simple. You have to match energy with energy. That's how self-defense works.
Yes.
You know, somebody swings at you, you could swing back. If somebody swings at you again, you could swing back. But it's not self-defense if you do it more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like, for every time somebody swings at you, you could swing back. Self-defense. But if somebody swings at you once, beat the holy, that's not self-defense. That's assault point. So you just have to know your boundaries. You have to know what you can and cannot legally. The problem was that I defended myself when I was being physically attacked and when I was being physically attacked. And then when I defended myself, it's not what I did. I did it too. That pissed the government off, because it was the head of public safety at the Huntington Town Hall. So this guard assaulted me with a weapon, and he assaulted me. And then when I defended myself, the police took their side and the victim. They arrested me for third degree. Meanwhile, what I did was actually it was a full justification law, which is New York Penal Code 35.15. 35.15 is the New York Penal justification. Everything I did for self-defense. But because I'm up against government, it's going to be an uphill battle. And of course they're going to and they're going to try to make an example of trying to hold them accountable for their corruption. So the government doesn't like it. Poke the bear. When you call them, they're you see, it's funny. They always say to us when they pull us that, like, especially let's say a new law comes out, right?
Okay.
You get pulled over for the law, and you have no idea about it. And the cop says to you, "Well, ignorance of the law is an excuse." So, I use their own logic against them. I tell them, "Well, ignorance of constitutional rights is no excuse, because that's law. And federal law, state law, it's above town law, it's above city law. The federal law is the law of the land. It is the top law, period, that comes before any other law. Our civil rights, our constitutional civil rights, come from the Declaration of Independence. Our natural born American rights come before any corrupted law. They say, thou shalt not make a law that goes against the Constitution. But they do it all the time. And they get away with it until somebody like me challenges their monkey asses. So what we need is more Americans to know what their civil rights are, because 78% of Americans do not know what their civil rights are. That's the problem.
Fascinating.
What do you think? What do you think, Adam?
I think that, you know, in today's society, with today's attention span, if it's not so, if you met some hot chick with big titties doing Amazon, stop. If you had, you know, some hot chick with big titties doing like 2-minute Instagram reels saying what their constitutional rights were, they would learn so quick.
That would be my wife, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful woman, big titties, big ass. I love it.
I'd just be like, like I said, I just, no one reads anymore.
But more importantly, she's a great woman.
Yeah, I met her at the Exotica. You guys were both. You know,
yeah, she loves you, bro. She told me to say hi to you, by the way.
Cool. Hello, Mrs. Guido.
Yeah.
This way we don't give out your government name. You're on air. But basically, I'm at this point where I feel that common sense is dead, customer service is dead.
Yep.
Everything is automated, which pisses me off. I finally said, you know, got the balls to, you know, finally get the consultation to start my cataract surgery. So I can have the cataracts removed to get more light into the optic nerve.
Will you be able to, once you get that done, will you be able to see after that?
Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance it may improve my vision by a couple of percentage.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and I have nothing at this point. I have nothing left to lose because I'm a low partial where I can see shapes and shadows and motion. So, but then I call my transportation and trying to get a live speaking to a live person was a pain in the ass. And doing things with everything's an automated system nowadays. So the art of having a conversation is dead.
Yeah.
So as far as I actually, and this saddens me. I think there's a lot of people in America, I'm gonna say 80% of it maybe, who don't know their constitutional rights, don't give two shits about their constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, whatever the government, whoever's in power says, whatever a part of the aisle you are, even though Republic, Democrat, Coke, Pepsi, blowjob, handjob, it's all the same side of the coin, just a different way.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura wrote a great book. You know, explain the whole concept. I think it's called Cryptocrats. I got the title off the top of my head, but I was explaining how it's only the illusion of choice. It's only the illusion of, you know, red and blue, right and left, Democrat, Republican. In reality, it's all the same shit. And
it is. That's why I don't vote.
The president and the congressman and the judges, all puppets.
I mean, Adam, I'm sure you watched. Wait, I'm sure you watched the news, right? Have you noticed that politicians left and right have been they're getting caught with their pants down, basically, and getting involved with all this corruption and every time they get pardoned, like the laws don't apply to them for some reason. Like, I don't understand how they can just be pardoned. Like, that's bullshit. So they get to break the law and it's okay, but we can't. And I don't know, I haven't met one cop yet that knows the Constitution. They don't even know the First Amendment of the Constitution. The very first amendment, they don't even know it.
Freedom of speech,
It's sad.
freedom of religion, and
There's five elements. I'll tell you right now. There's 5 elements to the First Amendment. So, wait, what did you say it was? I want to see how many you get.
see, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, and I'm going to be honest, it's been a while, I'm blanking on the other 2.
Freedom to redress your grievances with your government and freedom to assemble, which is protest.
All right, yeah, that's where I was blanking for a minute. I was trying to remember
Yep.
it.
It seems to me the only amendment that I seem to know is the Second Amendment, where they like to shoot innocent Americans.
Yeah, actually, that's the one that seems every so often winds up on the. You see, we haven't had a school shooting in a while, so that one hasn't been on the chopping block for quite some time yet.
You know, all these politicians too. They try to, like. I mean, I don't know, especially in Jersey. I don't know if you've been in, but lately in Jersey, they've been trying to block people from. They've been trying to block people from their freedom of speech in Jersey. I don't know if you've seen that. Mayor Brian Mack is the biggest corrupted piece of shit walking God's green earth. I don't know if you know about what's going on with that shit, but
no, enlighten me, sir.
almost all the politicians in Jersey are pretty much corrupt in some form. Like Brian Stack, he's like the head honcho of all the corrupted people, and he's trying to silence people. Every time somebody, like, they don't like being criticized by the public at town meetings and stuff. They don't like transparency and accountability. They don't like being held accountable either. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if you're on YouTube a lot, but I mean, you should definitely follow Jersey Watcher, Long Island Audit, Leroy Truth Investigations. He really covers the shit. That.
Yeah, to be honest, I follow a lot more.
Full Press too. Those are all my friends, man, and they've been shedding a major light on the corruption going on right now.
So, what are your thoughts on all the bullshit that happened with our scumbag Mayor Adams?
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. He's being pardoned, and he knows he's a. And he says, "Oh well, even if I wasn't to get pardoned, I would still fight it and win. I'm still not guilty." Well, if he's not guilty, then why did he beg Trump to pardon him? Because that motherfucker knows he's guilty. That's why.
He's the worst mayor since, in my opinion, since Mayor Dinkins. I'm dating myself with that reference, but hey, man.
I heard Andrew Cuomo's going to try to run again, and
God, you know what?
Like, how does anyone vote for somebody who's a sex offender? I don't understand that shit. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Just so he doesn't try to.
I have no clue. Like I said, it's just I think people easily forget if it's not in the news. If it's not in the news cycle every 2 seconds, you know, people forget. You know, and it's not like being governor of New York in the last 20 years has, been something to brag about. Elias Spitzer was a piece of shit.
And Hochul is just as bad. Like she's doing not only like she took over Cuomo's position, but if you think Cuomo was bad, she's worse when it comes to like running. She's doing a horrible job. Granted, she's not a sex.
She was qualified to run a Target, let alone a state.
Yeah. Granted, she's not a sex offender like he is, but she doesn't know how to run it. She doesn't know how to run the state. Are you shitting me? The whole congestion pricing thing is a clusterfuck.
Oh, it's beyond a clusterfuck. And can you explain to me what jackoff in the city decided to phase out Metro cards?
Obviously,
help things. The MTA is a fucking joke.
MTA has always been a joke. It's always been a joke, man. I mean, come on. They're more worried about congestion pricing than a woman being burned alive on the subway by a migrant.
And I saw that video, and I've been riding the subways. It's gonna be 35 years now. And I saw that, and I've seen everything. Like basically, sometimes I think that subways, New York's homeless shelter, an insane asylum, and a place to be a street preacher, drug peddler, anything and everything in between, and get you from point A to point B. I saw that made me go, what the fuck?
Listen, man, I'll tell you one thing. You have to understand, our country was based on immigrants, okay?
Exactly.
I don't mind people being in this country the right way, going for their green card and learning the American way, getting their green card and doing it the right way. I have no problem with that. But all these illegal immigrants is the problem. It's a huge problem.
And this is what pisses me off as a grandson of a deceased Vietnam vet.
Wait, and no pun intended. A blind man walking a one-legged dog could see this shit, okay?
Oh, exactly. But I don't understand. They come straight off the boat. They're given housing. They're given food stamps. They're given a free cell phone. Every benefit that if you and I were to apply for it now, there'd be a amount of fucking paperwork this fucking high, and there's a 50-50 chance that you would get what the basic services that that people in this country have died for people. And I hope come into America. Make America your home. It's the greatest country on motherfucking God's green earth. But pay your dues.
Yep.
Learn how to speak a little bit of English.
Just a little bit. I mean, and the thing is that what pisses me off too is how people could, and I mean, honestly, the thing that sucks more than anything is that it causes hate in our country, and I think the government did that on purpose by design. They are trying to divide and conquer. It was by design why that happened.
I think a lot of what's going on right now is by design.
And because you have to understand what another thing I hate more than anything is racist people. Okay, like you people need to understand. If it wasn't for immigrants, you would not be here. We were all here because at one point of our family tree, we were immigrants. And you need to understand, diversity is needed. That's what makes us a free country. We got to stop the hate with each other. What we need to do is put the hate and the blame on the government. Because what they're trying to do is smoke and mirrors. They're trying to blind you with smoke and mirrors to hide what's really going on, to hide the truth, what's really going on from you. So they blind you with all this other bullshit to get you to hate and all this shit. They're even trying to get us to hate police because the government don't give a shit about the police either. They don't.
Unfortunately.
They want us to go after the police so they can take away gun rights. They want us, the government wants us to defund the police so they could claim martial law. Now, if anyone doesn't know what martial law is, if that happens, then you lose all of your rights.
Has anyone ever seen Escape from New York, Mad Max, Escape from LA, the Terror Dome? Basically, martial law is when the government just fucking runs everything. Just it'll be the pandemic times 100. And everyone who's just rolled over and made it happen, I pray to God that doesn't happen. But everything I said for the last 24 years, everything I read about comic books, watching science fiction shows and movies, I've seen happen. So I could, unfortunately, I can see martial law happening in our lifetime, but I pray it doesn't happen. That's all it takes is one move that the government's like, nah, we've had enough. Fuck everybody. Speaking of fucking everybody, you and I think are going to be playing enemies and sugar wafers.
Yes, we are. Sugar wafer. We're gonna be in sugar wafer. I can't wait for that. I'll tell you, Alien Rob is a great guy, man. I mean, he really is. Like, and it's like he's very understanding, and he has a very smart brain when it comes to that. Like, his ideas are great. I love it. I mean, even Tornado the movie. Come on, that's genius, man. Genius. The comedy is the epitome, man. I'm telling you. I think it's weird. It's like, I think one of the best genres in movies is comedy. Comedy.
So do I.
Drama, action, horror. My wife, she absolutely loves horror. She's a horror writer herself, and she's a genius when it comes to horror stuff.
I have known Rob now for 11 years, and maybe a little longer than that, give or take. Because I forget the first exact where him and I met, and we just hit it off. He gave me all his contact information. He yelled at me to get away from the table for a minute because I was waiting to talk to someone. And, he brought me right back. We've been best friends ever. He probably will never remember that. I gotta bust his balls. Remember the time I was, waiting patiently to get pictures taken with so and so. I think it was with Raven Bay at the time. God rest her soul. And
I still got to meet up with Rob and them because I know we got to take some new pictures and stuff like that for promo pictures and stuff like that. So I still got to set up a time to go down to Jersey to go meet up with them. So, but with Mike, with my hectic schedule and everything, it's more hectic now than anything because I'm still like I said, I'm still dealing with this court shit. I'm still dealing with you know, a lot of things, man, like family shit, you know, pro wrestling, you know. I just want to right now. I want to focus on you know, on the acting gigs and stuff. Right now, I think is more important than anything right now.
Well, since the last time you've been on ASR, have you been in anything that we might have seen?
Not recently. I mean, I have an IMDb page. I never. I don't even know how it was created because I never created it. But somehow I have an IMDb page.
I will have to look at that later.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was in a documentary that's actually, I don't know if you have Amazon Prime or not.
Yeah, I know.
But I was on a documentary called 4'11". It's a documentary about I don't know if you remember the angry bagel boss guy.
Yeah, of course I know.
And I remember the reason I was in the documentary was because I was one of the color commentators for the I don't know if you ever heard of celebrity boxing, but I was one of the color commentators. Yeah, I was one of the color commentators for the event. It was when God rest his soul, Screech from Saved by the Bell, Dustin Diamond. He was supposed to go against the angry bagel boss guy, and the angry bagel boss guy was a pussy and never showed up.
Yep, I like I said, that's the celebrity boxing match I lost money on.
Yeah, well, the reason you lost money is because he never showed up to fight.
No, it was one of the other matches I lost money on.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was the. Wait, were you there that night?
I was not there, but I do.
You watched it on. You saw it on the iPay-per-view.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was the. Well, if you remember that, I was the actual color commentator for that.
I haven't gone back and I haven't watched it in years. Of course, I get the Family Guy joke sent to me from one of my business partners every other 3 weeks when our distributor bill comes in. You ever seen the Family Guy spoof on it?
Oh yeah.
You got my money. You got my money. Which is one of the greatest Family Guy bits of all time. You got my fucking. Don't make a fool of me, man. Don't make a fool of me. How do you think today's culture has changed comedy? I kind of feel like the art of the take no prisoner, no one is sacred, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison style.
Oh, I remember Sam Kinison, man. That motherfucker was funny.
Yeah, I really kind of feel like that style of comedy where nothing is sacred, nothing is pure, everything is fair game is dead, and it saddens me.
Don't forget George Carlin.
George Carlin, he's amazing. Towards his last couple of specials, I really started thinking he was more a social commentator than a comedian.
Yeah.
Like that, he does that. That last one he did, God rest his soul, where he did the 15-minute bits on civil rights. And he says, okay, if you think you have your rights are given to you, he's like, go to Wikipedia, type in the United States of America 1942 to 1945, type in Japanese Americans, ask them after Pearl Harbor they had any fucking rights.
Yep. Dude, Andrew Dice Clay was a nice guy too, man. When I met him, he was a really nice guy.
I met his wife. I was living out in LA doing gigs at the Comedy Store. I met his wife, who's one of the head waitresses there, or his girlfriend, or whatever she was at the time.
I remember it was after the comedy show. He was at the bar when I was at the bar, and we were just talking at the bar. It was pretty cool. I got to have drinks with Andrew Dice Clay.
He's one of my childhood heroes. Andy Dice Clay was the first time I ever got in trouble with my mouth because I imitated it right in high school, and I'll never forget. Two of the teachers come in the hall and go, "You can't be talking like that." And I'm like, "Why?" Because even back in high school, back in the late 80s or 90s, it's like you start. It's like I could have sworn I had freedom of speech, and they're like, "Not if you're gonna use language like that." They're like, they're like, you can either go, be quiet and walk away, or you can have the attention. I think I chose the attention.
Yeah.
You know, because I need an extra hour of sleep.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
Shit, I only had 4 hours of sleep yesterday. I didn't get much sleep at all.
I hear that. Sleep is like a luxury for me as I'm late for some weird reason.
Ain't that the truth? Shit.
Yeah. You know, but
I mean, I look like shit. I got like bags under my eyes because I have like no
you look great
sleep.
to me, but that's besides the point.
Thank God the lighting sucks. Otherwise, you'd see these giant bags under my eyes right here. lack of sleep. That comes from lack of sleep and age, folks. So, oh man.
You know, so are you watching? Are you watching anything? Binging anything that catches your eye? What's on Mr. and Mrs.
Yo,
Netflix?
wait. Did you see the finale ending to Cobra Kai?
I have not gotten to it yet.
Oh my God, bro, you gotta watch it. Oh,
I've heard nothing but great things about it. I just am not.
Yeah, I can't wait for Karate Kid Legends to come out in the theater, bro. I'm just saying, I'm gonna see it the day it comes out.
So am I. I'm pumped for that. I just, you know, can't believe almost 40 years later we're talking about Karate Kid.
I'm not gonna tell you the ending, but the ending is sick, bro. The ending is sick.
That is amazing. You
know, what did you like? What did you watch so far with karate? Like with the Cobra Kai series? Like, what are you up to that you didn't get to finish watching?
I'm actually up to the beginning of this ending season.
Wait, what happened?
What's that?
You're at the beginning of the final season, you said?
Yep.
So you haven't watched all 15 episodes then? Like, what episode are you up to in the last season?
I am up to episode 2.
Oh, wow, yeah. Bro, you got to binge watch that shit, I'm telling you.
I will. I will. Just too many shows, not enough time, and there's other shows I try to keep on top on because of spoilers, because everyone in the comic book YouTube sphere spoils everything.
Yeah, that reminds me. I had some of my best friends fucking hated me for a while. I remember it was one of the Star Wars movies, right? I joked around on social media. Like, I didn't even say I just basically, like, I saw it, like, even before it came out, the day it came out, like, I saw, like, a sneak peek or whatever. And I went online on purpose just to be a dick. And I said what the ending was. Everybody got so fucking pissed at me.
Depending on what Star Wars movie it was, you weren't.
Dude, I really did it to be. I did it to be a heel of pro wrestling, but I managed to piss everyone off in the locker room too. Like, everybody was mad at me. Oh my God, it was such a dick move that I did. I understand why they were mad at me. It was a dick move that I did, but it was fucking hilarious, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's something I would do.
That and another thing I do is, like, I'll see, like, right when I see the movie, I'll go back into the theater just as the first movie starting, and I'll blurt out the ending and then walk out of the theater.
Yeah, it's great. That's almost worse as doing other things that are public safety hazard.
Oh my God, the look on people's face is priceless. They get so angry. It's fucking hilarious.
So, is there
Sally,
anyone out of the big 3 wrestling companies that catches your eye?
say hi to my kitty cat, folks. This is Sally.
Hey, cool. What kind of cat is Sally?
A calico, I believe. I mean, she was a stray when we got her.
Aw.
She's an old kitty cat. She's still daddy's baby, though.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be giving my furry pan in the ass his nightly Tubi snack after we get off the air. You give your cat that's just cat yogurt type stuff that you squeeze out of a little tube that smells like crap.
No. I just give her treats twice a day, and she.
Cat yogurt though. My cat fucking loves it.
All right, go away. Go. Jump down. Go, go, go.
Oh, bye, Sally.
She's big attention. She's a big attention whore.
That's cool. So basically, you watching any of the current wrestling product? Anything catching your eye?
Yeah, well, I got just so I know what's going on in the industry. I mean, it sucks because I have a lot of friends that are in AEW, but I just can't watch it anymore, man. It's just I can't watch it anymore. Tony Khan has no idea what he's doing. I can't watch it anymore. I can't even. And it's.
I want to ask you.
Out there, I want to be able to support them, but I just can't. And it's not their fault. It's Tony Khan's fault, man. He has no clue what he's doing. I can't watch the product.
Creative right now? Is he the end all and be all the way Vince was with his creative? Because I haven't watched the full episode. I'm watching segments because there's people in there I love and support. AKA I'm loving the MJF, Adam Page stuff.
Listen, I'm sure Tony Khan's a nice Adam. I'm sure Tony Khan's a nice guy. I hear he's an actually nice guy. I never met him, so I wouldn't know. But I know people that worked for him, and they say he's a really nice guy. The problem is he has no clue. And I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to get them in trouble. But they say that he has no clue what the fuck he's doing at the time. And
it shows.
And I see it. And as much as he may be a nice guy, Tony Khan's one of those guys that would fuck up his own wet dream.
I can see that.
Like, AEW was great in the beginning, but just like, TNA in the beginning was amazing. But then it fizzled out. So what if,
Because right now,
TNA is built. Yeah.
You remember TNA when Bill Corrigan was running it?
Yep.
Yeah, when Dixie Carter and Bill Corrigan were running it together, that era of TNA, when it was garbage. That's what AEW's reminded me of a lot lately.
And I hate to say that because I actually met Dixie Carter. Dixie Carter's a very nice woman. She really is a sweetheart. Unfortunately, though, there was a lot of bad decision making, which led to their demise. But now TNA is doing really good again. So I'm glad to see they're doing good again. And now they have this cross promotion thing going on with WWE. I think it's great for both WWE and TNA. I think ever since Triple H has taken over, man, things have been getting much, much better now. Because at one point WWE was shit. Now that's doing really well right now.
Yeah. Ever since they got on Netflix, I was a casual fan again for the last maybe 5-10 years, and I've been diehard ever since they've been on Netflix. To a point where until I said how much it was going to cost, I was almost going to go back to Vegas for Mania. The cheapest sheet was like $800. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I was honestly looking forward. I was really hoping Josh Alexander would have signed with WWE because I would have liked to see him, and I definitely would have liked to see him in WWE more than AEW. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know why he signed with AEW. I mean, I know AEW probably. I mean, obviously they obviously was the money. They probably paid him, a lot. but be good for his career is the question, because honestly, I think he would have been better off in WWE. Especially, I don't know. I mean, his old tag team partners in NXT right now. I think if the North got back together, it'd be great.
That's right, because that's where Ethan Page is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be great if him and Ethan Page got back together. That would have been awesome. A lot of people.
Ethan,
a lot of people were disappointed that he signed with AEW.
Like I said, I used to watch the AEW Dynamite the whole episode. Now I just a select group of clips on YouTube, but with the people I want to support, and even then I wait more and more on.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand the creative. I'm actually just lately I've been binging old school ECW.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed the old school. I definitely missed the old school shit. I'll tell you one thing. I think AEW, even if they drop their prices, I still don't think they're going to fill the arena. Like, it's just nobody wants to watch the product anymore. That's the problem. And again, that's Tony Khan's fault. But I think they would fill a lot more. I think they would put at least at least another quarter of the arena. They would fill more arenas if they just dropped their prices. They're charging WWE kind of prices, and they're nowhere close to WWE's level. So the audacity for them to charge the money that they do for tickets is ludicrous. Ludicrous. Insane what they charge for AEW tickets.
Yeah, I've seen it because I almost went to one of their shows. I almost went to the one that happens in your neck of the woods, because their flagship star says that Long Island is the gift of God's green earth.
I mean, I went to Saturday night's main event when it was at the National Coliseum. I was there for that.
How is that in person?
Dude, it was great, man. I mean, it was better than I thought it was going to be honest. And then afterwards I met up at I went to the Marriott Hotel, which is right next to the National Coliseum, and I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends and stuff. I got to see my friends Coco Beware and Greg the Hammer Valentine. Was hanging out with them for a bit.
Oh, fuck Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yep, Bobby Rydell. I saw a couple of independent guys there too. That's
awesome. Can I have permission to shoot on Greg Valentine for a minute?
What happened?
As long as I live, me and my friends, we do Hollywood cars at comic book. And we had him at our booth with like Brutus Beefcake and Amador, Tito Santana, that group. And I asked him, how he does the whole for meet and greets that he'll give you a chop.
Yeah.
He refused to give it. He did not want to give it to me.
Really? Why?
He didn't want to give the blind person the chop. Really?
Oh, that's discrimination.
I had to coax him. I was like, "Come on, man." I think
you should have said. You should have told him. You should have been like, "Look, man, I'm blind. I'm not crippled."
So he gave me a semi chop, and I was able to tell he was holding back. And I was like, "Do I go on the mic and just start ripping him apart, or do I just say thank you?" And but it was an experience. Because eventually, I know Sergeant Slaughter, after his meet and greets, does the Sergeant Slaughter challenge coin. Where I think it lasts 3 minutes in the Cobra Clutch, he'll give me the special coin.
Oh, wow.
I want to do that eventually.
I'll tell you though, man. I'll tell you, when Greg Valentine slaps on the figure 4 leg lock, he really slaps it on. That shit does not tickle at all. It doesn't. Like, he actually slaps the shit in. I was like,
I'll
damn.
aside, I'm happy. I'm like I said, I'm happy he can still go. He's from that era when I watch it on YouTube now. WWF,
Yep.
85 to about 92. It's like crap. This is so awesome. It's so cartoonish that it's over the top. It's just fun. Now, some of those characters would never. I don't think some of those cartoonish characters will get over today, but who knows? Like Duke the Dumpster Drozzy was the one who's like, okay, he's a garbage man, but he wrestles on the side. That's okay.
What about Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was the ringmaster?
Actually, no. My favorite thing was him when he was in.
That shit
stunning Steve Austin with the Hollywood.
I was a huge fan of him in WCW when he was stunning Steve. I was a huge fan of him. He was world television champion and shit too. I fucking loved that gimmick, man.
I preferred that short stint he had with Paul Heyman in ECW. But he was just mocking everything. Everyone needs to Google. I think it's I forget the name of the old people medicine he said, but it's like basically it's old people, geriatric people on a pole, and he's making fun of Hogan and Flair, and he's stopping around with walkers, and just ranting and raving about how much he hates Eric Bischoff and Hogan and Flair.
I mean, I met William Regal. I met him at the Marriott Hotel, and he's the nicest guy. I'll tell you, he's one of those guys where you don't want to get on his bad side. I've heard stories of William Regal, like what he did to Goldberg and shit. But I mean, he was really nice when I met him. I mean, I didn't talk to him for very long. It was more, it was the first time I met him and the only time I met him. But I've always heard good things about William Regal, and he was nice when I met him. So he's not one of those guys where he lets the fame go to his head. He's really down to earth and chill.
Yeah, the one guy I'm trying to get an interview for the podcast. Just waiting to hear back from his people is DDP.
Good old DDP.
Just to have him and like Waltman and all my wrestling guests, him and Sean Waltman are at the top of my wish list. Just because Sean Waltman was, always one of my favorites.
Yep.
And there's not too many people who can say they were in DX and the NWO at pretty much the same time.
Yeah, those are some good times, I'll tell you that.
And then of course, I don't know if he's even still alive, but do you know Dangerous Johnny Diamond?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's still around.
I haven't seen him around.
He used to do the comic book convention circuit in New York City to promote whatever indie wrestling show he was.
I remember when he was working with DWF in Jersey. Like it was like on the border of Jersey, but on the Jersey side.
Yeah. Him and God rest his soul, Chris Candido, and that whole little group would do the Big Apple Comic-Con all the time, circa 2002, 2003-ish. Tammy Sitch, who could rot in prison. Yeah, Tammy, I said it. Even though she was always very sweet to me, like she always remembered who I always was and gave me a big hug and all that, but it's kind of just hard to forgive some of the stuff she's done recently.
Yeah.
But But yeah, Johnny used to. He was a character. He used to, like, before the show would open up to the public, just like put a stack of comics together and beat me down on price all the time. To a point where he would just whatever hot chick, he female wannabe wrestler they had with him at the time. It's like a stack of pictures, and it's like, give Adam a hug and a kiss. He's like, now can I have the price I want? It's like, yeah, just take the comics and get the fuck out of here, dude.
I'll tell you, one of the people, one of the people I miss working with the most, and I haven't, God rest her soul, was Luna Vachon, and my friend Amy Lee. I don't know if you remember Amy Lee, but on the Independent. Yeah, I miss working with her and Luna. Working with her and Luna Vachon in WSU, I miss those days. I really do. Traveling with Luna was always a picnic. I'll tell you that. I miss Luna Vachon, man. She was like the sweetest woman, man. She really was.
I've heard some good stories about her over the years.
Her and Amy Lee will always be family to me. And granted, I haven't spoken to Amy in a long time, but whenever I talk to Amy, it's almost like we pick up where we left off. I love Amy. We always had good chemistry working with each other. And the chemistry was always there for sure. And yeah.
I had to go do a YouTube search and find some of her work on YouTube. It's been a while. Yeah. What advice would you give to someone thinking of being a professional wrestler in today's professional wrestling world?
Say that again?
What advice would you give to someone who's aspiring to be a pro wrestler nowadays?
Stay a fan.
After any form of entertainment, you get into professional. It kind of changes the way you see it as a fan.
It does. Like, I mean, listen. I mean, how do I say this without it coming out insulting?
This is a hard bar show. Just say what comes naturally. I don't care.
I mean, honestly, like, if I knew then what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have gotten into it. But I mean, between the politics and everything being a clusterfuck and a shit show all the time, it's like. And then dealing with baby drama mom, just dealing with drama and shit all the time. Like, it's just, and then you got to deal with all the hate and shit too. It's like, man. But it opened the door in so many other ways for me though. Like, it helped get me into the acting industry. It helped with a lot of different things. So I don't necessarily regret it totally, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I mean, you have to understand, everybody in this business forgets where they started. A lot of people, they forget where they started. They have to grow these chips on their shoulders, and and they shit on people, and they forget that they once had a beginning too. And I always give advice to the younger generation. I tell them, treat everybody how you want to be treated. Like, you have to understand, be careful on how you treat people on your way up, because you're going to see them on the way back down the mountain. So they're going to remember you on your way back down the mountain and how you treated them. And if you treated them poorly, then
like shit when you're going down the mountain.
Yeah, you're going to crash hard. Yeah, you're going to crash really hard.
I remember when you fucked me over and they could kick you in the nuts. Instead of going 3 steps down the mountain, it'll be 3 steps down. It'll be bing, bing, bing.
But I mean, it's a matter of how you want to land, really. On your way up, you got to think of how you're going to land when you come back down. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't think of how they're going to come back down, because nobody thinks that everybody thinks that they're going to be at the top of the mountain their entire career, but that's not necessarily the case. And
to give a perfect example, and I've never thought I would see this in my lifetime, we're going to go back to the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw. When who got booed out of the building at the loudest boos of the night? The living legend, the man who created modern professional wrestling. Hulk Hogan got the loudest course of boos I've ever heard in my lifetime for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
No one stays on the top forever, whether it's movies, music, wrestling.
The reason why he got booed, listen, I'll tell you the reason he got booed. And it had nothing to do with him, what he said years ago. I mean, it probably had a little to do with that, but the reason why he got booed was because they were in a blue state of California.
Yeah.
And he was at the Trump rally doing his little shtick. And people got mad. I'm telling you, anybody who's a Democrat, let's just say, anybody who is a Democrat, okay, who used to be a Hulk Hogan fan is no longer a Hulk Hogan fan now. Because what Americans, and I hate to say this because I'm an American, but it's true, Americans are ignorant. Like I said, 78% of Americans don't know what their rights are. All right, a lot of Americans don't know shit about the law, and
or how to break certain laws.
But the thing is, what the thing is that they think that their vote matters. Their vote don't mean shit. The electoral vote is worth more than our vote. So there's. Secondly, no matter who you vote for, we're fucked in.
Yep.
Because listen, you never see the day we get a libertarian on the ballot box is when I'll vote. I'm not even a libertarian, but if I had to choose between all the different parties out there, I would choose libertarian. Because I believe that pretty much, maybe not all, but the majority of politicians are corrupt pieces of shit. All right? And just because they haven't gotten caught doesn't mean that they're not corrupt, okay? Most of them, the majority of them are corrupt. And even libertarians, I'm sure, are corrupt in some form. But, libertarians are more about our freedoms than any other party. So they actually care about all of our civil rights. They believe in having less government officials, and they believe that politicians should be paid far less than what they're getting paid now. But every time and that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that libertarians don't try to run for presidency. They do. But they get voted out way before it even gets to the they get voted out by Congress. Like, Congress don't want them there. They definitely don't want a libertarian in office. So they kick them out before it even gets to the fucking mailing ballots. I mean, before it even gets to the voting ballots. You'll never see a libertarian going for the president of the United States on a ballot on the ballots, because they get shunned out before that even happens. But I'm not a part of any party, to be honest. I'm not. I don't vote. I don't vote at all. So there's that. And people are going to hate me because I'm saying that. But it's the truth. It's a fact. It's funny. I get more entertained than anything. It's entertaining for me. Right before any election, you always see these ads by politicians saying on how corrupt the person they're going against is. And then you see a commercial of that person saying how corrupt the other person is. Wake up, America. They're both corrupt. Hello.
Yep.
Everybody says, "Oh well, you should choose. You don't vote. Oh, that you should choose lesser of the two evils." Why? It's still choosing evil. Just like it's your American right to vote, it's also my American right not to vote. There, take that up your ass.
Testify.
I'm going to catch a lot of heat for that.
On that note, where can my audience find you online?
Facebook.com/official Vinny the Guido. That's Vinny with a Y, not an IE. VINNYTHEGUIDO. Vinny the Guido. So Facebook, as far as the URL, it's Facebook.com/official Vinny the Guido. Instagram.com/Vinny the Guido. I'm on Twitter. I'm sorry, no, X. I'm on X too, Vinny the Guido. Listen, I have X, but I'm never on it really. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm never on there either. I had TikTok and removed that shit a long time ago. I'm mostly on Facebook and Instagram for the most part.
Yep.
And I would be on Twitter more if they weren't so anal about being able to only write like one or two sentences and then you can't write any more shit.
The 120 character count, which drives me up a fucking
I can't work with that. It's hard to promote shit you're doing when they don't let you type that much. So that's why you never really see me on Twitter. And I get it for the people in the porn industry. I get it that Twitter, aka X, is very porn friendly. I get that. That's great for the content and shit like that, which that's great.
Like I said, the one thing I'm happy about is with X, at least they have a little bit of leeway where you even show the slightest nip on Instagram, you have the 50-50 chance of getting knocked the fuck out. I'm not my first Instagram account. And one time I made a joke about running an escort service, which pissed Facebook off. They said I was
Let me guess, you got flagged.
Yeah, my friend was just talking about wanting to hire girls for an event. I was like, hey man, I know girls, I can get you the best rates in town. Why don't you email me? And then I had one of my friends who was doing a Facebook Live selling comic books. And I was like, hey, I need to kidnap you to hang out. And Facebook flagged me for that.
Bro, I hate Facebook and Instagram. And I'll tell you what. They reached out to me saying that you have all these people on your page. You're like, you could be monetized and stuff like that. And you can make money and blah blah blah. Sign up for us to monetize you so you can make money and blah blah blah. So I do that, and as soon as I do that, they flag my account because I have all the pictures of half-naked women and fucking me in my condom costume saying that we're promoting sex. So I said, fuck this, and I canceled doing the monetized thing. I said, I don't need money that bad. I make decent money. I don't need that shit. I was like, fuck it. They don't need to monetize me.
Conspiracy theory that the monetization thing is their way to monitor your fucking account. The minute you start doing shit that they don't like.
Oh, I took that shit off right away. I said, I'm not doing the monetized shit. Then they send me a thing saying, oh, we're sorry to see you go. You should come back. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Well, my brother, I want to thank you for being a guest tonight.
I just want to, before though, I do want one thing. I want to shout out to my people at One Division Pro. I want to give a shout out. Now check them out on all social media platforms. One Division Pro, and especially if you go to onedivisionpro.com, you can find all their stuff there. I give a shout out to my Rough Rider family, my Long Island chapter, Rough Riders. I want to give a shout out to all the Rough Riders worldwide. They're my family, and shout out to Alien Rob. Sugar Wave for the movie coming out. Tornado the movie coming out.
Let me join you with the shout out to Alien Rob. which is production line, tornado the movie, slot coin, sugar wafers, paranormal ale, paranormal soda, liftoff sanitizer, milky marbles. Ah,
He's the Rob of all trades.
You know, we're getting at least like 4 or 5 other personas he's created over the years, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, one of the greatest human beings. One of the if Alien Rob is your friend, he's all out. Alien Rob, I love you, buddy, and I
Yeah,
cannot wait.
we love you, Rob.
You know, for Vinny to be the FBI, me to be playing Arson Burner, and I'm gonna have like the shittiest Southern accent of like all time.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. I'll tell you that.
It's gonna be a blast. But
Hey, speaking of which, if anybody is interested in sponsoring the movies that we're in, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with Alien Rob. You know, if you want to sponsor it, if you want to invest in it, I mean, you know, if you're interested in being a part of these movies, please reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with Alien Rob for sure.
yeah, same here. And like I said, it's gonna be a blast. You know, as always, thank you for all the friendship and support. And I love you, brother.
I love you too, Adam. Thanks for having me on again, man. We got to do a part 3.
Pretty well, man.
Banner landmark button skip to
Amazon, stop. All right, everyone. I love you all. Blind Adam out.
awesome.
Peace.
Clickable button. Main land graphic QR code. Graphic background. Graphic banner left. Clickable button restart. Clickable button cancel. Clickable button pause. Clickable button end screen. End screen outro bit. Clickable button set outro button not yet. Button end screen. Button end